I personally will be trying to reach out to my constituency as best as possible, trying to meet the members of the constituency, obviously, and trying to talk to them about their problems and trying to bring those problems to the Senate.
Okay, so if we're not familiar with them, there's obviously vast resources on this campus to where we can become familiar with them, and we have an entire summer to do so before school starts back up again, so we can become familiar with them. And then once school starts, make sure we're going into classes, we're going into the departments, making sure people know us, know our face, know our names, and then making sure that they have our contact information, so when they need to get in touch with us, we can definitely help them out.
Well, this will be my, ostensibly my third year working with my constituency of underrepresented persons with disabilities, and now as officially with the graduate constituency. And I get in touch with my constituency through not just everyday outreach, but I am participating on boards and in projects and on programs, and as well as talking, and people come to me and everybody knows how to get in touch with me. Not every single graduate student on this campus does, but I work to make that happen through word of mouth. I work on Facebook, and like I said, I am on projects and committees all across campus that have to do with these two constituencies. So.
I have a philosophy that kind of makes that question kind of easy for me. I believe that it's the job of a leader to do what the people they are leading wants. It's not necessarily about making a decision that's best for me or the one that I like, but to make the decision that I think best reflects what the constituents actually want.
I think that it's the best solution to go and get to know the people that you're not so familiar with. And I think as senators, we should best go around and meet those, the people that are trying to, or the clubs that are trying to make the PSU more, I don't know, more involved. Right now I'm with the Association of African Students and Les Mojeras and NAACP, so I think the more you get yourself involved in and get yourself known by the students of PSU, you have a better chance of getting things done in the Senate.
I think we're in such a vibrant and beautiful campus that definitely before next term start, fall starts, we'll be out there getting to meet more students here on campus. Personally, I'm involved in numerous groups here in school, and one key just to make everybody smoother is be out there, become involved, we're already students, but becoming a deeper level, just get to know them better.
I believe that the best way to be able to be approached by students is to be social and be available for them to talk to you, somewhere where they can see you, and if somebody knows that that's who you are, is okay, that's a student senator, word does get around.
What was the question again? I know it. Well, for the constituencies, it's not just going for me. I love this campus, I love the student groups, and I've met many of my friends through that, whether they're very interesting or very, well, we'll just say interesting. But in that regard, I think that it's not just for constituencies, it's reaching out to current constituencies, but it's also finding constituencies that aren't addressed, such as people who are outside these who may or may not have intention to it, but when you interest them, they do join that constituency and become interested in it, and perhaps maybe they become involved. For me, it's going beyond the current constituency and trying to reach out to the people who are on the side, the silent majority, those people who are not really, who have grievances, who have issues, who have ideas that aren't addressed.
All right, Kathy, you want to add something?
Yeah, to build on what Matt said, as a senator, all students are our constituency first, and then we have constituencies that we might have started out working with and that we are continuing to work with, and then we have official assigned constituencies. But I have a vision, and I don't know if I should bring it up here now, that having student senator like stands or boxes out in the park blocks or somewhere on campus where we can engage students when they're on their way to class and walking through the park blocks, and feel free to just chew the fat and give us their feelings, and so that we can get more of the outlier, not that they're outlier students, but the outlier voices represented and brought in as enriching the Senate experience and what we're doing.
And to add to Kathy's thing, I also believe that not just, I mean, we have our official Senate duties, of course, which are attending the meetings, talking to our constituencies, but I also think that while we're in our unofficial capacity as PSU students, we should also be on the lookout for what issues could affect PSU students as a whole and anticipate them before they come. That way, that when we do it, the people who we not only represent, but we also represent them by proxy, can also say, wow, they anticipated us. They really understand what we are. And anticipation for me is really something that is important.
Due to lack of time, I'm going to ask one more question. Reaching out to the student body has been problematic for the ASPSU, and it's been a big issue that not ASPSU can do by themselves. And so, how do you guys plan on reaching out to the student body and addressing that as a problem for next year?
Well, seeing how Portland State is more of a premier school rather compared to the traditional college, it's definitely more difficult to contact those students. And the way that we can reach out to the students, maybe even tabling or even talking to students just like while they're eating lunch, just going up to them and talking to them personally and letting them know that we're there, that we can help them and represent who they are.
Okay, going off of what James just said, we definitely need to make ourselves prevalent, make sure they know our faces, who we are. We also need to make sure that they actually know how to get in contact with us. ASPSU website, great example. Our faces are there, but there's no contact information for any senators if you need to get in touch with them. That needs to change. They need to be able to make sure that whether it's a phone number, email address, whatever, it needs to be prevalent. So, I mean, even if we can't get out to them, they can at least come to us with their problems.
And I have another little fantasy idea that I like for outreach to students, and it involves KPSU, which I haven't ever spoken to them about or to the Senate about yet. But I like the idea of, as far as further outreach, not just having tabling out in the park blocks, but maybe having senator times where people can, from the comfort of their own home, call in and voice their opinions, ask senators, and have an agenda of what senators are going to be on that slate, on that call-in slate for the show that day or that week. And I think that's another good way to get students involved and to hear their voices.
Well, I am glad you asked that question about methods, because that is part of the reason why I joined the Students First slate. I liked a lot of the plans that we have for reaching out to students. The idea of little paper feet through Smith Student Union, each one written with one thing ASPSU can do for you, to get students coming in, to get them thinking about what can my school do for me? What can I do for my school? To use an old phrase, I guess. Yeah, so I think those are all some really good ways.
Okay, I believe that as a big school such as PSU itself, there's you have the commuters coming in, you have the old, the young, and of all ages coming into this huge campus that I think as senators we should go and meet those students. It doesn't. I know that classes might get in the way or whatnot, but I believe that to get your voice heard and to be known as a senator, you need to go and introduce yourself to them as a senator. And I mean, you have Facebook, but I don't think that just adding people because